this. Wait till you see this. He's playing a Southerner or something. It's quite funny. I just want to let the viewers know that my phone is on over here. We may be receiving a call from our old co-host, Cammie. Now, we'll go into this later on after we do the films, but apparently there's some producer out there who is interested in the show. I don't know. I don't answer my phone, as you people know at home, because Dave and I have the track phones, and we have a limited number of minutes, and we can't talk at work, so the phone is shut off most of the time. But today it's on, in case she wants to call in with this proposal of the producer. She said there was a producer out there. I said, we have our lovely producer out there who's producing the show. We don't need a producer for the show.
Wait a minute. Lovely? Yeah, exactly. Lovely producer? That's the first time I've ever, A, heard you describe him as lovely, and B, ever thought that he would ever be described as lovely.
Well, fine or lovely, these are words.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not the same. No. Lovely? If the producer was Cammie, I'd say we have a lovely producer.
Right.
But he's not lovely.
Our fine producer over there.
All right.
I see he's got a different drink than usual. I don't know how it's going to go today. Usually he has his mixture of limeritas over there.
He's having a boost.
He's boosting his energy. So anyway, this producer, I told Cammie, well, we got... the only thing I was thinking is putting the show on Amazon Prime, because that Super Knocked Up, the web series I was in for 2 seconds, they're up on Amazon Prime. So I was thinking of putting our show, maybe trying to get it up there. And then she writes back that this guy, whoever it is thinking putting our show up on Amazon Prime. And we got our show all put together here. We don't need anybody to help us put it on Amazon Prime. I can do it myself. And then with some research, I see you have to have a tax number, because they're paying off money. They want your tax number, and we're not a business down here. So with some research from Super Knocked Up, I see that he had a production company put his web series up, and it was some convoluted thing, Wired Tree Productions or something, a subsidiary of this or that. What I found out it was, remember that Jared Balog who didn't like our show? The guy who does the makeup, and he said he wasn't a fan of ours.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that?
No, when was this?
This was after somebody who's in our web series put up our trailer, and then with we didn't prompt this guy. We don't need his comments. He comments, and it was apparently a friend of his putting up something he was in.
Okay.
And then this Jared Balog character says, I'm not a big fan of Ed and Dave.
No, okay.
So
neither am I.
So we never said anything that I can recall attacking Jared Balog, the local makeup man. But after we heard this, when he was at that Fanico, we'll make comments. He was selling these cheesy-looking masks for $20. We did say that, but that's the production company. The brother of this guy is the one that put the Super Knocked. So I hope this is not the producer who's interested in our show, because he probably doesn't know. We're not a big fan of the brother of the makeup man. But there we go.
Wait, so we're only not a big fan of his because he's not a big fan of us?
Yeah.
I don't hold that against him, Ed.
You don't?
No.
I kind of do.
I don't.
We didn't ask for his comments.
We didn't ask for it, but let's face it, our show isn't necessarily all that likable.
It would be different if he was commenting on the show, but here was a friend of his, supposedly, putting up a piece of work that he was in. You say, that's a nice thing you're in there, whatever, nice job in there, but don't mock the producers of the project your friend is in.
So are you saying he doesn't like our show, or he doesn't like us?
I don't know why he had such a comment. It's fine but maybe we said something about the Fanico and he was hooked up in that. Maybe that's what the problem was. I don't know. I don't know this guy. He's some local makeup man who I think worked on that cryptid thing.
Ooh.
So, but anyway,
all right.
As long as that's not the producer, we'll talk to any producer. If you want to put the show...
We're going to talk to a producer now that the show is ending?
I know, so this is the fine time for somebody to be interested in this as we're wrapping up production.
Never made a dime off this.
Never made a dime. Dime one was never made from this show. Maybe now.
Maybe we...
Only at the end.
Oh, wait a minute. If we're going to start cashing in, we may have to find a way to continue this show.
Well, we are continuing the after show. But the problem with putting this show on the air is people don't know this out there. These clips we use,
Right.
every time we put the show up, we get copyright notices from the studios. Now, in the old days, they would, pray somebody
Right.
would advertise their film. But now that people are making money off these clips, the studios, whenever, we use the clips, we get a copyright notice. I have to respond to each one and say, we're using this public domain, whatever. And usually they release the copyright. Everybody except Universal for some reason now. It used to be Warner Brothers. But Universal is making 2 cents off our show, apparently, for showing the clips. And that's what you got to deal with if this thing goes on Amazon Prime. You're going to have to deal with these studios. So if this producer wants to take the responsibility of dealing with the studios, and then we got the game at the end, I don't know if that's going to be a problem, giving away tickets. You're free to take the show and do whatever you want with it. But there's a lot of headaches that come with the current production. Now, the new media
Not for me.
zone,
I got no headaches.
you got nothing to do with it.
Show up, talk, leave.
So there you have it.
No, what about the new media
The
zone?
new media zone, I'm thinking we might show clips on a TV in the background,
Kind of like we did in the 80s.
like we did in the 80s. Hey, it's not a bad former Channel 10 does that. They got a giant thing. The lighting is awful in that studio because they got to deal with this big screen in the back.
Right, panicking.
That reminds me of the lovely producer over there, as you just mentioned. Coming up, we're still in our penultimate season here.
Yeah, but our final season is going to be abbreviated.
It will be abbreviated, but it will be starting in 4 weeks, or on the 4th taping. Is going to be the season premiere
Oh, is it?
show.
Okay.
So
Final season premiere.
final season of the Media Zone. Now, we don't want to scare you. The all-new Media Zone, or whatever it's going to be called, or the new.
From your house?
From my.
That's, you know what? That's extra travel for me.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's
Yeah.
once a month.
I'm lazy.
Plenty to do in Latham.
Yeah, I'm lazy. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. We'll think about it. Maybe I can do a remote.
We haven't worked that one out yet. We'll see if we can try that at some point. But anyway, starting with the new season, and you said the producer, we're going to have guest stars come in
Guest stars?
and sitting in. I thought maybe we'll have the producer in.
No.
We'd have to have somebody. Why not? We have to have somebody down here just to hit the buttons here and there. You have to, in the final season, you have to sit in for a few minutes. And we'll talk about the production of the show we spent 30 years on. How long? 40?
Why?
Just for something to do. Now,
That's something to do after 38 years or so. Now he wants to put the producer on camera. I think you've been on camera a couple times.
he's
haven't
only
you?
been seen in an old Bob Bouchot mask sticking his head in 1 or 2 times. That's the only time he's been out. And surprisingly, I don't know if the producer saw the entry, but old viewer John Powers not only sent an entry in, but was just messaging me on Facebook wanting to know if he could stop down and watch a show, a production of the show.
Is marriage?
That's usually when the marriages are in trouble, then we see people again. That's what usually happens. So I don't think that's the case, but
That's why I did the show.
usually people were coming down to get out of the house, and then they would disappear when something new would come along. That's when co-hosts and people would change.
Yep.
So kids come along, and so we don't want John Powers viewing the show down here, but if he wants to guest on the show,
So
we don't get anything out of it with people sitting in this chair. But if you want to come on and be a co-host, that's fine.
under whose definition is he a star?
Well,
You said guest star.
Man.
guest star. Yeah, well, guest co-host.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that a better term?
Because we're not even stars.
No. But for a while there, when you weren't here for John Powers, I don't believe.
I don't know who he is.
We actually did do some bits and show some of his bits.
Okay. You showed his bits?
Actually, he did it once. What was it, Dick or Treat? What?
What?
Dick or Treat was one of his bits. Now, he didn't show them, but they were blurred out.
Why?
It was It was blurred out. As far as I know, the man was nude when he shot this thing. I wasn't there.
I got that somewhere.
Do you have it down here? You have the bit still?
I think so.
I don't know if he wants that shown, though. I don't think we should show that if we have it. We'll show it off camera to Dave. If
I don't want to see it.
you don't want to see John Powers' bits.
He showed his bits.
Well, probably the funniest John Powers bit was when he did for a product, and he listed all the side effects, and then he had like 20 images, pictures, still images of people vomiting and doing this and that, and ear bleeding, and it was quite funny. Well, if he comes down, we'll have to show that.
All right, we got one more.
I want to remind any producers out there that we've had this.
We only want lovely producers.
This email address has been at the end of the show for 30 years now. If any interest in working on the show could have been directed to that address at any time.
Right.
I don't know how Cammie got a hold of this producer who is in Schenectady, supposedly. But we'll find out if she ever calls in here. Production, we have 2 more shows in this season. And then stay tuned the week after that. The all-new final season will be starting up with a plethora of guest stars and guest hosts.
A plethora.
That's a big word.
I cannot wait.
We will see you next week.